Minimax formula is used to calculate the minimum and the maximum value in your data. In this case, I have the data for the January, February, March, April, May and June. What I want to calculate the minimum value in this first column at the moment, which is the January column. I will use the minimax formula, which is equal to MIN. You can see it's the first formula. Press tab and then we'll select the first cell reference and then colon sign, again the last cell reference, and then it has selected the whole range within the column. Close of bracket, press enter. You can see it is showing me the minimum value in this first column is 251. You can quickly double check 251, 314, 377. Yeah, 251 is the minimum value in this first column. Again, if I want to copy this formula for the rest of the column, I'll just simply drag from the bottom, and now it has copied the formula for the rest of the columns. In this second column, February column, 276 is a minimum amount. In May column, 351 is a minimum amount. So it is showing me the minimum amount, minimum value in all the columns. Okay, so there are again different ways of calculating this formula. If I select this one and delete, and second way of calculating the minimum value is select the whole range in column, and then in the home tab, far right hand side, there is an auto sum option. If I drop down from the side, so you can see minimum option, second last option is MIN. If I click this one, you can see at the bottom is showing me 251. So it has calculated the minimum value in this column. Again, if I want to copy this formula for the rest of the column, so I'll just simply drag from the bottom and it will calculate the minimum value for the rest of the columns. Again, delete it and just simply stick to the standard formula. First cell reference and then last cell reference, close of bracket, and then drag from here. Okay. Second is the maximum formula. If I want to calculate the maximum value in any data or in any column, so I will use the maximum value formula. It starts with equal to MAX. So it's the first one, press tab, select the first cell reference, colon sign, and then select the last cell reference and then close of bracket, press enter. So now it's showing me the maximum value or the highest value in this column is 629. You can quickly check all the rest of the values are the less than the 629. So again, if I want to calculate formula for the rest of the columns, I will simply drag from the bottom and it will calculate the maximum value in this data. It will calculate the maximum value for the rest of the columns. Again, there are different ways to calculate this. If I delete this one and select this column, I'll go in the home tab for right hand side, and the fourth option is max. If I click this one, so it's showing me the 629. 629 is a maximum value in this column. Again, there are two ways of calculating. First, applying formula. Second, select the column and go and select the option in the home tab. If I want to calculate the average in my data, so I will use the average formula. In this data, I mentioned the product quantity for the January, February, March and the April. If I want to calculate the average quantity in each column in each month, so I will use the average formula, which start with is equal to AVER, and you can see the first option is the average option. Press tab, select the first cell reference, then colon sign, and then last cell reference, close of bracket. When you select the first cell reference, colon sign, and then the last cell reference, so it auto calculate the whole range within the cell. If I press enter, so now it's showing me 160 is the average value for the month of January. So if I would like to calculate the average value for the rest of the columns, so what I will do, I will just simply drag this cell from the bottom, and before dragging you need to make sure you can see the plus sign, and then start dragging it, and then it's showing me the average value for the rest of the columns. February average value is 232, March average value is 412, and the April average value is 469. So this is how you calculate the average value in your data. Simply formula is equal to average, start of bracket, cell range, and the close of bracket. So this is how we calculate the average. Formula is count formula. So for the count formula, the example is accidents reported in hospital for the month of January, February, March, April, and the May. So simple count formula is it gives you the count of the cells that has numerical value. It starts with is equal to COUN. First one is count, press tab, and then select the first cell reference, colon sign, again the last cell reference, close of bracket, and press enter. It's showing me the count 5. It means there are 5 cells in this column that contains the numerical value. So if I want to calculate the count for the rest of the column, so I'll drag from the bottom and it's showing me the 5. Why it's showing me the same count? Because each column has the same amount, same number of cells that contain the numerical values. So January, February, March, April, May, they all have the 5 cells that contains numerical value. So simple count formula is equal to count, start of bracket, and the cell range. Next formula is today formula. It's very basic, very simple formula, but it's quite useful formula when you want to calculate the date automatically. It used with maybe calculating the aging for the debt analysis or something else. So, and you want every time you open the sheet change the date, so is equal to TOD, press tab, and then close of bracket, press enter. So now it's showing me the today date, which is the 9th of April. If I open this workbook tomorrow, so it will show the 10th of April. So every day it will change the date. So it's automatic formula which will, if you apply this formula anywhere, it will change the date itself when the calendar date change. The formula is simple. Start with is equal to today, start of bracket, and the end of bracket. The concatenate formula. Concatenate formula is quite interesting formula. It is used to merge the value in the two different cells. For example, here, first column is the first name, which has the Alex, Joe, Alina, Simon, Josh, and the last name of the same persons are John, Mark, Steve, Sam, and the fish. So what I would like in the third column, I would like to merge their first and the last name in one cell. So I will use the help of the concatenate formula. Let's start with is equal to CONC. You can see the concatenate, press tab, and now select the first cell reference and then comma, and the second cell reference, close of bracket, and then press enter. So you can see the Alex John. The first name was Alex and the last name is John. So in this third column, in this cell, it is showing me the Alex John because I have applied the concatenate formula. So here I don't want these two names to together. Like, I want the space in between the two names. I want the space between the first and the last name. So what I would do, so I will just simply modify this formula. To modify this formula, I will press F2, and then after the comma, what I will do, I will use the inverted commas, and then I will press space button, to give the space between the two names, and then again inverted commas. So I'll use the inverted commas in between, and then I will give the space in between the inverted commas. Don't forget to put the commas after the inverted commas, and then I'll press enter. Now you can see there is a space between the Alex and John. So this is how you simply merge the value of the two cells without space, and if you want to give the space, you simply amend the formula, insert the inverted commas like here, and give the space in between to have a space between the first and the last name. Press enter, and again if I want to merge the name for the rest of the employees, rest of the person, I simply drag from the bottom, and now so you can see all the names, first name and the last names are together, but there is space in between. The formula is simply is equal to concatenate start of bracket, first cell reference, comma, if you want space, then inverted commas, space, inverted commas, and then comma, and the last cell reference and close of bracket.